Hey everyone, and welcome back. Before we begin here today, please make sure that you like and subscribe because it really does help us out over here. And it also helps us reach others in need of assistance with these topics. So what we're going to be covering in today's video is we're going to be going over calculus, and we're going to be looking at how to use the quotient rule in order to find derivatives. So this will be the second part in this quotient rule series. So you'll always have to, or not always, but a lot of the times you're going to have to use the quotient rule whenever you have an expression being divided by another expression, and you have to take the derivative of the entire system. So utilizing the quotient rule, you have to do some setting up with substitution. So let's go ahead and let's set an f variable equal to everything in the numerator, which would be 3 minus 2x. And let's also set a g variable equal to everything in the denominator, which would be 4 minus 3x squared. Now, to properly use the quotient rule, because this is what we have now, we have the derivative of f over g. So the derivative with respect to x for f over g, this would be your quotient rule, which would be g times df dx minus f times dg dx, and then all of that divided by g squared. So in order to use the quotient rule fully, we have to find out what the derivative of f is with respect to x and what is the derivative of g with respect to x as well. Well, thankfully, these expressions are not super difficult to find these, so let's go ahead and plug everything into this equation right here. So g will be 4 minus 3x squared. And then we are going to have the derivative of x with respect, or f with respect to x, which will be d dx of my f, which is 3 minus 2x squared. And then subtracting off my f, which is 3 minus 2x squared. That times the derivative with respect to x for g, which is d dx of 4 minus 3x squared. And then finally, that entire system, or that entire expression, will be divided by g squared, which is 4 minus 3x squared. Alrighty. So the only really difficult parts here are taking the derivative of f with respect to x and the derivative of g with respect to x. So let's go ahead and fill all this in. We will have 4 minus 3x squared has not changed. And then the derivative of this with respect to x, well, 3 is just a constant, no x included there. So whenever you have a constant with no variable, it becomes 0. And then we are going to have minus 2x squared. Well, that is going to be in the form of this, where we have d dx, a times x to the b. Well, the derivative of that is just going to be b times a x to the b minus 1. So drop b down, which is 2. So I'm going to have minus 2 times x to the 2 minus 1, which just gives me 1. And then subtracting off 3 minus 2x squared, and then multiply by the derivative. Once again, we have 4 as a constant, so it's 0. And then subtracting off 3x squared derivative with respect to x, well, that's just going to be my power of 2 drop down, times 3 times x to the 2 minus 1, which is just 1. So that's just x. And don't forget, we also have to divide by our 4 minus 3x squared. Oh, I'm sorry. There was an error right there. That should be squared up there. So 4 minus 3x squared squared. And if we want to write that completely out, 4 minus 3x squared is 16 minus 24x squared plus 9x to the 4th. Alrighty. So simplifying all this down, multiplying through by everything here, we will end up with a total of minus 16x minus off 12x to the power of 3 plus 18x minus off 12x to the power of 3, because at this point right here, from then on, it just becomes simple algebra of multiplying through and simplifying down. So that would be my entire numerator. And then, of course, my denominator, if you just want to rearrange to the highest power going first, you would have 9x to the 4th minus off 24x squared, and then plus 16. Well, we can also simplify the top a little bit better. And looking at what it comes out to be, it comes out to be a nice 2x there in the numerator, all divided by that 9x to the power of 4 minus off 24x squared plus 16. And that would be my final answer for the derivative of the first expression. So that's how you would use the quotient rule. And keep in mind, you're always going to use the quotient rule whenever you have an expression being divided by another expression, taking the derivative of the entire portion. So I hope this video was helpful. And if you want to see more problem solve this right, please check out the other videos on our channel. Also, if you haven't done so already, please like this video, leave a positive comment below, and subscribe to the channel because all of that does help us out. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.